I love animal movies, but does the latest version of The Call of the Wild signal the end of live animals in films? Welcome back to Off-Label Veterinary News, your source for commentary on animals, medicine, and practice life. Before we go to the movies, please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. Thank you. If you're like me, you fell in love with Jack London's The Call of the Wild as a child. If you haven't read this classic along with White Fang, do yourself a favor and read the books, then go see the movies. Disney recently released the latest trailer for The Call of the Wild, starring everyone's favorite Han Solo, Harrison Ford. What makes this adaptation interesting to me is that Disney chose to make Ford's canine costar Buck, a 140-pound Saint Bernard Collie mix, completely computer-generated. This follows a trend of augmenting and now replacing live animals with some very realistic CGI. As a veterinarian and a sucker for a good animal flick, I thought I'd share with you some of the reasons why this is happening and what the potential long-term impact for animals may be. The first, and certainly in my opinion, the most important reason for this shift from using live trained animals on set is safety. Many dog lovers refused to see A Dog's Purpose when it was released because of all the controversy surrounding the near drowning of the German Shepherd star dog Hercules. The intense negative publicity was blamed for the movie's lackluster box office performance. And this was just one of many cases of animal deaths and abuse during the making of a big blockbuster film. Animals can easily overheat, be exposed to severe cold, especially such as those scenes described in The Call of the Wild, or experience loud noises, bangs, explosions, or other frightening stimuli. There's a reason that Hollywood pays highly specialized animal trainers and wranglers the big bucks for this. The second reason, though, is cost. Big movies can cost close to $400,000 a day to film. If your animal talent misses their mark or fails to show up, that can cost you, a producer, a lot of money. In fact, during the latest live action The Lady and the Tramp, the producers reported that it took 3 days to film that iconic spaghetti dinner date scene. And yet, in the end, after all that work and money, the crew ended up using a digitally rendered version of that scene. It's stories like this that scare movie producers from using real animals in the first place. The final reason, though, for this CGI shift is acting. Real-life animals simply can't emote on command or express the complex feelings that are needed sometimes to tell these stories. I mean, Jack London beautifully described Buck's thoughts and feelings in a way that you felt closely connected to and empathetic with. It's hard to translate those emotions on screen when you're filming a real animal. The Lion King is another example of fantastical storytelling that CGI makes more real and, frankly, believable. I mean, I know that lions can't really talk or sing, but dang it if I wasn't singing along with Simba just like millions of others. That uncanny valley also that Will Smith tumbled down into when he did The Gemini Man recently is also less of a problem when you're dealing with a waltzing warthog or a wisecracking meerkat. Off-labelers, once again, I find myself conflicted on this topic. As a veterinarian, I took a vow to protect all animals, and sometimes I worry that using animals on movie sets potentially creates stress and could lead to harm. As a movie lover, the ability to create complex and engaging animal characters means that more movie writers can share more moving and entertaining stories. And as odd as it may sound, I believe that using CGI animals in movies could actually lead to more empathy, concern, and even protections for real-life animals. On the other hand, movies and television shows using real-life animals deeply affected me as a child. Old Yeller, Lassie, Flipper, and even Petey from the Little Rascals influenced my beliefs as a veterinarian and an animal advocate. The latest Buck in The Call of the Wild looks amazing to me. That last little side-eye glance that Buck gives a grizzled Harrison Ford would have simply been impossible if they were using a real dog. I believe that with the success of these films, we can expect to see more CGI animals from now on. Off-labelers, what do you think? Are CGI animals a necessity for safety and storytelling? Or will the lack of real animals on screen create some sort of weird emotional void from the viewers? Leave me your comments below. Well, that's it for another edition of Off-Label Veterinary News. If you like content like this, please subscribe and click that notification bell so you won't miss an episode. Until next time, keep living that off-label life. Bye.